West, y'all.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of the 135 Footy Show. Joined by my also Simon Amani. How's it going, bro?
Yo, what's up? Yeah, good also. Good to be here, brother. Yeah, now been a good week for sports, man. Hey.
Yes. Oh, good weekend for sports. I'm sure you haven't stopped grinning since Friday night.
So looking forward to it, man. Looking forward to good Talanoa, a lot to get over, bro. But yeah, man, thanks for having us.
Sick use. Yeah, a lot of beginning of the World Cup. So yeah, NRL doing really good to be able to still shine at this finals period with the kickoff of the World Cup. Catch any of those games, bro?
Of course, us. What are you? Are you alright? Are you okay? Like, I know you guys were missing Johnson, bro, but it still would have hurt. Like, did you expect that was a bit of a fucking dagger in the? That was straight. That was almost a pounding,
Yes.
eh? Like, that was one of
We'll,
the
we'll get
better.
into it. We'll get
Like,
into that game, mate.
let off some steam kind of a performance, bro. But
I think so. Yeah.
we'll get into a little bit about that later. But I was a bit like 50-50, man. It was I had a good chance of having a great weekend, bro. But I was just the All Blacks brought me down after that high with the Bronx. Also, so I was
Yeah, not the
50-50 with
best
my
start to
teams,
a
man.
Saturday.
Broncos are up, APs are down. You know, but even still, bro, fucking some amazing elimination finals, boss. Hey, how
Mm-mm.
about those two games, bro? Both come down to the 1 point.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's what those four games look like. It looked like two teams playing sudden death, two games of sudden death, and two games where you got teams who
How
knew they had a
good?
life.
1 point, boss.
Um, yeah. Before we get into the reviewing each of those games last week, I'll ask you a question now, and I want to see your answer at the end, just how confident you are. Do you see anyone other than the Penrith Panthers and Broncos in this year's grand final?
At this very moment in time, nah. On the evidence that we've been given throughout the year, nah. And I think those teams even went a little bit next level as well on the weekend, just to stamp a bit of authority. Plus, still giving Warriors missing. That's a big asterisk on the game, bro. Because but I just think like what Cleary did elevated them that little bit extra, bro. My Panthers, like as I said, even though the Warriors missing their best player, I still thought that Panthers coming a little bit extras, like showing a bit more. And how good was Cleary, bro? I think maybe without his second man there, he probably took it upon his shoulders to yell that out there. I thought both sevens stepped up, and that's why I separated these teams. Because you're looking at the two best sevens playing at the fucking peak of their powers right now, bro. And Reynolds just loving this platform the Broncos forwards are giving him. Cleary just, I don't know, bro. I just felt like they were in control. Warriors probably wouldn't have fought as much, a lot more of a better kicking game. I think they were brave, but just on attack, they missed Johnson's kicking game for sure. But in terms of what they had to deal with, fucking Cleary was carving them up. Cleary just went to elevated next level, man. His um his stats were off the chain, bro. Running in over 100 meters. Um, he was combining on both sides. Had a go at the line, and I think he was stamping his authority to say, "Hey, man, we're going to make history, three-peat, first team in a long time." So yeah, bro. Like I said, entertaining elimination finals, but interesting. I think this week
Mm,
these other teams got to go to that level, go to the next level. Like a Warriors
yeah, man.
capable, one not only beat the Flying Knights, but are they capable to produce something on the same level that the Panthers? Sorry, the Broncos got to offer because whoever wins that game, I don't know. I don't see them doing too much against the Broncos at the prelim final at Suncorp. But I don't know. What about you? I don't want to jump ahead to that Broncos game, bro. But
Yeah.
once you get your ticket, you just never know. And Broncos are almost, I don't want to say hoodoo, but they give us problems, bro. We've got a pretty decent record against us at Suncorp, and I remember a few losses watching that game live up here. So it would be a fucking awesome game if the Broncos win this Newcastle game, also.
Yeah, you guys have put yourselves in the best spot possible. Starting off with that Storm game last Friday night. Stace and I picked it as a Storm win based on that long history. But man, the boys showed. Um, Gordon Tallis talked about it. Just this playing group. There's a bunch of boys there that the history. Everyone talks about. They weren't there. They weren't the guys playing. So yeah, the game, the Storm. Yeah, real hard watch. Just I think they came out with just the wrong attitude. You picked it, bro. Last week, you said it was going to be a grind. I thought the Bronx would get right into their work and just start throwing the ball, but no, it ended up being a grind early, but a grind that the Storm, like we said, they'll stick in it and wait for the mistakes and pounce on it. But man, they were messy. They were so unstorm like, and just almost a sense of privilege, just the way they were playing, like the way Harry Grant, just the ill discipline. That's kind of what came across to me was just the yeah, just entitled, just going out there,
Mm.
like just started grinding, and then started expecting things to turn their way. So with some of the calls early in the game, just the ill discipline, just the attitude, kind of yeah, just almost, looking agrees like, they're losing the 50-50, but yeah, definitely not playing like a team. Well, yeah, I think, yeah, just expecting things to turn their way, and just not storm like, kind of keeping the pressure on. They were real messy. Bronx were too. Like, I think that's promising for you guys to know that again, in a good performance, you weren't 100%. Like there were a few drops, a few missed opportunities. Maybe that some of that was rushed Melbourne defence as well. But yeah, messy from the Storm. You don't see that happening again next week. But yeah, those kind of stood out. Just yeah, just playing like they were entitled the way the Storm were coming across, and just
Were
ill
they? Did they
discipline.
feel entitled, or were they on the back foot? Because did we put them in a situation where they're not used to? And it goes both ways, bro. Yeah, you might say they're not on top of their game, but is that a result of what after the pressure that the Bronx applied, bro? Because man, you know how proud I am is I know how much points we've got in our artillery, but the performance of that forward pack in the opening 20 minutes, bro, just said to me that the Broncos are willing to do the dog work to win games, bro, and willing to put in the effort to be in the arm wrestle. And we betted it out last episode with Stace saying that, and probably Stace is probably right. I kind of backed the Broncos in the arm wrestle, not knowing like we haven't really been to too many of those style games, whereas the Storm were renowned for that kind of football. And bros, I thought our forwards just fucking gasolied them, bro. The fucking opening 20 minutes between Fletcher and Haas,
Flegler was
but
huge.
like
Flegler was huge
Ricky and
throughout the game.
Capewell just led that line speed on the outside in. So it forced all their runners coming back on the inside, and Carrigan was just eating up all day, bro. I thought Fletcher had one of his best games of the season, bro. Just his line speed wise, and then Haas, bro. He's just man, how good was. He's just carrying on. He's been playing at this level for a long time, bro. But just that dependable, hard runs, on with momentum runs. He's so dangerous because he's added an offload in his game. But just his fucking pure engine, and he had some big minutes, but he made some crucial. What I was so happy about this game because they toughed it out, bro. The Broncos showed a little bit of finesse. Just a couple of those tries, it's hard to defend because just the speed of the ball and the brilliance of Reynolds with the speed of Reece Walsh. But it was the forwards that set that up, bro. And that's why, like, both teams, it's scary, bro, because it's so both teams, Panthers and the Broncos, just have different styles. But like when it comes down to it, those are the kind of style of footy, origin style of footy that's going to win you games. Is defense, the line speed, defense, and like even, as you said before, we made some errors, and you get that out of some of these players, bro. They're young, inexperienced, but they give it a go, bro. But it's the being able to turn around and defend these errors, defend these penalties. We haven't had the ball for a while. That's right. So just fucking tuck it under the take card carries and line speed, bro.
I
That's what
think
I
that's
wanted,
probably
man.
yeah, yeah. I think that's probably the biggest takeaway
Grant was quiet, eh?
for yourself as a Broncos fan.
Mm.
I think Melbourne weren't Melbourne. You know that maybe yep, like probably the pressure, but the donut to give Melbourne a donut in a game like
With
this,
that
like
spine.
yes,
Look at that spine, bro. Munster, Hughes, Grant.
exactly, yeah. So that's a full strength team. And maybe there was a bit of confusion and bringing in Peps, kind of how they worked that in.
Yeah.
But I think the defense, like yeah, you got to give credit when it's due. Their attack was a bit off, but no excuse to get a zero in a big game. Turn up and have a showing. But
I thought the big
um,
fella was good when he came on, bro. He was one that,
Asofa,
yeah, he made a
yeah,
difference, but he was alone. I mean, you look at this lineup,
yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Welch and Tui. You know, my bro Tui, Kamika, he's a good player, but he's tough, Him and Watch is no good. Watch is no good. Although
Because he stood up like
Welch
he
is
thought.
tough, but brass. He was fucking soggy, Payne Andes, and Fletcher. They were all over him, bro.
Yeah,
They were
yeah,
all he's running sideways. That's what you do. This is what you call a complete fucking Kasali. That's why I said Kasali. This means these guys, no one ran over 100 meters. I don't think. Trent Loro, who was having nightmares out
yeah.
wide,
Oh, Liero was
out wide.
horrid.
Him and Couture was too involved. Fucking letting Reece Walsh get up his thing, bro. He was alright, but I thought
Did you see that image and someone put the remember when To'o got that try celebration and they did that thing with him and Liam Martin and he like holds them up like a
yeah,
thing
yeah.
and they did a like who did it better and it's got Katoa holding Reese. Bro, I don't know what is, but why they keep showing that replay like that where he's just holding him off the
I
ground?
thought it was a tough call on Trent, on Couture when he applied pressure on Reece Walsh, and he even
Yeah,
caught him before
and
the
so he
the
didn't
thing.
fall. Yeah, that's
But
the
then
thing.
Reece Walsh did this Hollywood one, like
Yeah, no, just
so,
lying on the
so,
ground like that. It's
so
like, oh,
as a
this
Broncos
guy.
fan, yeah, you should penalize Reece Walsh for doing these
Yeah,
Hollywoods, bro, because it's over the top, bro. Like Couture's doing his job to
he's had a
apply
good
pressure on
good
these
season.
dangerous players, bro. But see what you do. He hardly fucking touched him. He even caught him before he hit the ground, bro.
Exactly. He's milking these
He's gonna
penalties.
get this shit out of the game. But I think the Melbourne Storm just allowed Broncos to get up there. Fucking, they couldn't handle ones, bro.
Yeah, I think it was good to see Katoni step up. Um, he had an awesome game. I think Katoni's been due.
Well, Reynolds,
Um,
cuz. So you know what? You look at this fucking team, right? Any of these guys will beat anyone on their day one on one with the ball in hand. Katoni, Herbie, Sal and Cobbo, Ezra Mann, Reese Walsh, even Jesse Arthurs, bro.
Willie
Um, this
Walters.
is like the job of Reynolds. When you get these guys flying onto the ball, open space, one on one, they're hard to beat, bro. Speed, cuz speed kills
Oh, Reynolds is yeah.
on the roads and
I
on the
think that's the thing.
fields.
Like that's what's so good about Reynolds as a maestro. We spoke about it before. Like just he
Yeah,
knows when to give, when to when he knows that the boys are a bit tired at the back. I don't know if it was the storm, like
Bunnies would have won a
cutting
couple of
down
fucking premierships if they held on to him, bro.
yeah. But I
Reynolds
think
and
it just
Walker.
shows the work Walsh does. So they talk about Billy talked about the work he does off the ball, and that zero scoreline
Mm.
is a lot to thank on him. So he probably wasn't as Reese Walsh in attack. You probably didn't see much
Oh,
of that.
he did some bot shit, bro. Like so, he scored a try. He set up a try. But he just gave away some dumbass penalties as
Mm.
well. Um, I made some errors in the play of the ball, I
Ah,
think, in one. But
yeah,
that's a concentration
looking.
thing. I'd rather him knock the ball on having a go, like trying to find an
Yeah, yeah.
open man. But still, he continues to be that. I don't know, bro. It's just like when you got that hand, like just in case you need it, you bring it out. But like the Broncos don't want to rely on him and his brilliance. I think they're doing enough. Um, they got with Reynolds and his kicking game. There's different ways they can score. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
when
I
it comes
think your
down
points
to
of
it, we
attack
also have the
are
individuals
quite.
to
Yeah,
pull
yeah.
shit
Exactly.
to
You got
pull out
Katoni, guys like that
magic.
who can make a difference. So yeah, real well
Storm
rounded
will come
game.
back though, bro. That's gonna be an awesome game.
Yeah. Man,
This
big
club
big
don't
point
lose
that
to it
came out
around,
of
man.
that.
Much.
Awesome to see Peps back in, but man, poor dude. Bit of a tragic kind of end. But you know what was more tragic? Like a minute before that, Xavier Kurtz tries to score a try, go by in the corner, and he's like holding his ankle. So like everyone, he's like sliding his ass off the corner of the
Yeah,
field
yeah. I
because
remember.
they're like too busy just like yeah. And then like that happens to Peps. Oh, stop the whole world. Poor Xavier Kurtz still probably sliding his ass off that field. Like, oh,
I was
what
still
about me?
at that point where there was a point where when Peps came on, and it was almost the same time as they had Nelson Asofa Solomona,
Yeah, yeah,
and he'd made a big run. And then Peps got the next player boy, and it was like just the way he glided around. I think he ended up hitting his outside, but he was just gliding around that. He just took the ball up, went across a couple of defenders, and passed it out wide. But
yeah,
it was almost like a test of like Broncos were playing at this high speed tempo game. That one of these players like that, in the middle on the inside with their footwork could really trouble you. And
yeah,
I
yeah.
thought I didn't think we were completely gone because when he came on, that's another point of attack.
Well, that's the
Him,
thing.
Harry
Storm
Grant,
had moments,
and
but then just lapses.
even Munster. So
Yeah,
Munster had some good runs, but it was
yeah, yeah. So
like they
that's the
said, it
thing. Like
was
you look
they
at
were
that scoreboard. If you didn't
disjointed.
watch the game, but you know, it was there was moments where you're expecting Storm to get back into it. They
Yeah,
started dominating in the middle, and then just dumb mistakes, just
yeah.
drop balls or just
Well,
balls
what
going
won the
behind.
game was see that zero against the Storm. Fuck, well that's the effort defense, bro. The
Mm.
three Ds, oosh, tackle, tackle, tackle. That's the one. You keep a team at, give them the kongaki at this time of the year. How good? And that's and like Broncos, you give them a sniff of the ball and they can finish. Oosh, look at these tries, man. Stags, Walsh,
Yeah.
Ricky,
Well,
Cobbo,
yeah, and I
Reno's
mean,
just opening them up.
deserved rest for the week three of final or week yeah. So next week. So after this week, you'll find out who you get to play. So what's the
All the
plan?
best
Like,
to
what do you think the boys
Peppenhausen.
do during this week?
All the best to Peps and his recovery. Sorry, to cut you off.
Yeah, yeah, nice
Man, no
man.
one wants to see that, bro. And especially coming off a patella injury, man. It's
Well,
the
they're
start
saying
of
that he might be back training
athletic.
with the boys in the preseason. So
Mm,
that sounds positive in the new year.
yeah, yeah. So it would be a miracle to see him next year. I think it's something like that. Close to 12 months
Yeah,
recovery, but yeah, man. That was probably the worst thing that happened for the Storm is losing him in that way.
they'll bounce back. So yeah, what do you think the plans are for the Bronx this week? You know, it becomes a just healing up. Any injuries? Any guys that are concerned over the that game that came out?
Nah, nothing I've heard. It was good. We were talking pre-game about maybe if it would have been better served to have them tough it out in the end of the year game, try to go for their minor premiership. We basically gave up the minor premiership to get ourselves into a position, and yeah, bro. Nah, man, just enjoy it. Like Walters and his team's done really well, and I agree. I'd thankful give up a 2 points during the season if I have a shot at with your big team
Big
beating the
dubs.
Storm, backing yourself to
Mm,
beat the Storm and then get into that prelim final. And from here on in, one more game, you're in the grand final, bro, and that's your lotto ticket, boss.
exactly. Yeah. You earned the cookies, mate. Nice. Sure. Also, right. Let's jump into man the second game, the Panthers Warriors game. So yeah, we took this one up. I think Stace went with the sensible bet, so he went Panthers with yourself, and I went with the heart and went Was. just thinking about the players they had in reserve and the possible game plan. But man, you look at the last play of the ball in this game pretty much sums up what happened in that game. You know, the Warriors just looked disinterested in that last few passes, goes to ground. Nathan Cleary picks it up and just grins at them and just holds on to the ball, waiting for the time to tick down. That's the thing. So because it's Nathan Cleary and the way he played that game, I can't even be angry. Like he looked at the Warriors just like, how dare you come here expecting to win? Like like Tupac said, you ain't even on my level. And that's how it feels. Willie Mason has a podcast called Levels. Uh
I
yeah,
love
and
it. I
and
love it.
we just got pretty much out leveled, unfortunately. Yeah,
Well, Panthers went to that
that
level,
was a wake
man.
up call. To your point that you just said about the Bronx, that was the plan. Let's rest, like we've earned the fact that we'll make a top four. So if we come fourth, ain't a thing. Like let's rest our boys, let's get them all fit, ready and rolling,
Mm.
because we win this game. Then we get to rest and we deserve the good run into the finals. So that was the plan. Last minute, Johnson, this calf injury comes up, and I think a lot of people, and you look at the way the Warriors play,
How do you think,
that was
Ush?
the heart
You proud of the way the boys went? Still
Yeah,
some
look,
silly errors. They were quite
yeah. So a
costly
few
at
little
the start.
discipline things there, but like yeah, I
Just
say it in
outclassed,
terms
hey,
of
bro.
just in terms of the levels. The boys went out there, they had a game plan that it started, at the beginning of the game, like always, it stays level and you kind of go head to head. Um, then the Panthers just, just that back three, kind of our kicking wasn't right on,
Mm,
and so they're catching it on the 10, catching it on the 15. And once you're getting those kicks short all day, Edwards is carrying, that first 15, 20 meters.
yeah,
And then Taruva and Toa like guaranteed the next 10. So
yeah.
you're just giving yourself a real hard day. And that's what it was meant to be a grind. But you look at that game, 20 minutes in, the boys look gassed. Like,
I was
uh,
impressed with
oh, man.
they're going back on the back foot, but like just how much they keep showing up. Guys like Shans, Nickel Clockstad,
Yeah.
Martina
Yeah.
Zelezniak, Rocco Berry, Pompey,
And,
Montoya.
and that's the thing. Like,
Montoya is rocks and diamonds because on the ball, man, he's so off the back fence with his carries. I
mm,
love that in a person, bro. I love the fact that you like just put the fucking pedal down and just
yeah,
let that
just
ball up
goes.
before you got. And Montoya, he's all guy like that, bro. He
Yeah.
doesn't care, but he's got like he's got an error in him. Um, almost like won the games, almost, bro. Pompey's the same too, but I like Dallin. These guys have got the ability to do what Panthers can do. They can bring in the ball out of their own end. If you got Johnson kicking from the 40, 30 meter line, they'll take you apart because their forwards are pretty tough. Forwards wise, it was just um, what's
I
his name?
don't think
Cleary was the
the
difference, bro. Forward
yeah,
wise, I thought
yeah.
Warriors matched up, but once Penrith went to that next level, they couldn't match up with them because, as you alluded to, the backs did a lot of tough work for them, and then the
Yeah.
forwards, they could just
Well,
turn
yeah,
it up in defense.
Moses and Moses and Fisher Harris. So you generally like just on that
Mm.
fourth, and they'll maybe only touch it like have turns. Like, oh, you take the fourth this time, or you do,
What impressed
and
me
then
most
one
about the
of the
Panthers is they threw
maybe
the
Liam
ball
Martin
around.
might jump on that last. So there's just so much attack, like you spoke about, like how the Broncos have it. I think that's one thing that we'll probably take a lesson, and it's not a bad thing. Like knowing that our attack all falls on Johnson just means similar to the Sharks. So it's something that we need to work on, but it's not a bad thing. Like it just means that it's unfortunate that a lot comes down to him. So I think that's the thing. Like execution wise, that's kind of what was missing. And you need a perfect game to play the Panthers, but yeah,
So
just a real
you play them again, it's going to be in the grand final, right? So you put
yeah,
yourself into that position. Let's just play pretend, right?
yeah,
The miracles happen. You go on, beat the Broncos up there at Suncorp, get your tickets to grand final. You beat them again. You're going to play them again. And Sean Johnson's available. You got all your stars available. How are you going to beat them, bro? How are you going to score tries and where?
Yeah, I think it's just playing that forward game. So the Warriors' game plan is very forward dominant. So almost a little bit opposite to theirs, where they come the fort, their backs are making all those meters. So we're kind of, you'll have Montoya or Dallin taking a run, but we don't kind of do that consistently. And so you get Fanua Blake a lot of footwork, and then to Tohu coming back to one of the other props.
Shans is a
So
hard
it's a real
worker, bro.
different.
He always eats up a head
And
up
I think
here
that's the
and there,
thing is
eh?
giving him a bit more time to because he's taking a lot of those tough carries at the back. So it's how do we get him more closer to the ruck?
I think he needs to
Um,
fucking follow his forwards a bit more, bro, and start sniffing
yeah,
out for
yeah.
those offloads, man.
I think it's just game plan wise. I think he covers a lot too, so he's fit. Um, I think just I think we are lacking centre wise. Both
I think he's
Rocco
similar
and
to Dylan
and
Edwards' game, but just like not with his pace and not with his maybe Edwards a little bit more in the work rate.
mm,
But he's pretty solid on D. What you guys have
yeah,
in there,
just the
bro,
rest of it. I think
and some good
Clockstad's
finishes
he's
and
tough.
DWZ.
Mm,
But uh, I've been saying this all year, and that you guys got the forwards to get your ball, and you guys got a class halfback, Sean Johnson, who's like looked like he was coming into a form that really matched his ability because he's always had the ability, bro.
mm, mm.
But SLA ability and SLA
I think
execution,
it's just his game
and to do
smarts
it
now. Hey, his
to
his
do it
match. Yeah,
consistently, this year's been the first year he's done that, bro. And it's been kicking on point,
yeah.
but also
His kicking
take it
game
to the
this year
line
has
and been
been
a threat
been so good.
with the ball in hand and some good assists. Um, I just think that with Penrith just almost showed the fucking premiership that they whole don't forget about us, man.
Mm.
They went to another level with Cleary combining a lot, Cleary running, bro, and just being a threat.
So,
There's there's a
that's
beautiful
one
try
thing.
he got. He glides,
Oh
he glides
man,
from the
yeah.
left hand side of
But
the field
he was
to the
threatened
right
to do that. Yeah, three of the
and
tries
late
they scored.
and there's no really where to go. The fucking tackle looks like it's gonna finish. He fucking pulls a late
Yeah,
offload, hits
that's
Moses
how they got
Vieira,
three of their
and
tries.
still let
That
the big
same.
fella does a
Yeah.
mean draw and pass, bro.
Oh, buddy, yeah,
Like
Lyoto.
2 meter
Yeah,
pass,
eat
and
ass.
I think it hits Toto on the chest, and Toto
Yeah,
just finished.
just
And
steps in and scores it
bro,
easily.
that's just the brilliance, bro. And to have a go and to offload. Um, he loves playing the Warriors. Also. He's a Warriors junior, bro. Remember his life, fucking Ellerslie. Your dad's a coach. You go to trainings and watch these boys.
Yeah.
You idolize them. He's seen Sean Johnson, so he's living it up. Every Warriors game, he brings it. Um, I don't know. It's that games like, but what? Oh, you got spanked. Let's segue into
Well, I think that's
what
the thing.
what
Hey,
they got to do
when it comes to that,
against the
that's.
Knights. Hey, bro.
Oh, we'll get to that, mate. We'll get to that. We'll segue into that later. Before we move on from it, your take on Jerome. Everyone's going in. I thought it was a bit of fun banter. Kind of
Up the
people just
pass,
having a go at him. Up
up
the
the pass.
pass,
I
mate.
loved it, and I think Penrith rugby social media team shared it. Maybe
Oh,
they
did they share it?
or
Is
they
that how
did
it got
their
out
own.
more?
But
Oh,
this
yeah.
is the thing, bro. It's almost like representation of what's happening in fucking society, bro. It's this cancel culture, cuz. So now, like, I thought it was, I thought it was like jumping nuts on Penrith. Like, why delete it for, bro? Like,
Oh, they
be
put it
proud.
up and then took it down.
It's This is what you need to do. The clubs need to fucking engage, bro, with the community,
Yeah.
get the banter going. Because on the level of how that could be offensive, up the pass, it's like, bro, this is a one.
It's
It's
not.
not.
Yeah,
It's
exactly. Was it
why are
offensive?
you butt hurt? But you know what?
Yeah.
I think you know why? Because you're a Warriors supporter, and so there's some sensitivities out there that are. The first they are like bitching about the refs, now they're bitching about this, which I find really sad. Come on, New Zealand, we're not
But
this
that's the
fucking
thing. Like,
sensitive, are
why
we?
they took it down? They
Hey,
scared of the fans. They scared
yeah,
of the
that's what I'm
fans.
thinking. I was like, I'm disappointed that the
Which
Panthers
fans are they
don't want to
scared
go.
of?
And you know what? With Jerome, good on you. Wolves. Keep doing that, bros. Keep doing that, mate. That's good natured fun, bro. Yeah, which draws attention. He's a smart
I think
businessman.
Peter's one
Oh,
was
Luai,
better.
bro.
Peter had the up the pants wires. So I'll probably give Pete a few more points than
What
Jerome
happens
on
if
that.
you like come out next year and start losing Will they still use the ones, or will it be like a come and gone thing, like one of the jerseys?
Nah, I think the Wilds will stick.
Hey,
I think
that's
it'll
it.
stick. Just
You
kind of
found
gets away
your
from the
yeah.
Warriors. I don't know where it came from. Did they anyone ever get to the bottom of the Warriors? Sure, I'm sure Willie Mason likes it now after his big carry on about it. Willie's probably fine with it.
But the boys
All
on the
right,
morning show, they're we're trying to find. Oh, I'll get back to you on that one.
that's right. Tell them that it started
I
from the
don't want to plug
135
another
footy
show,
show.
but
Started right here in the 135 footy show last year.
would you prefer Warriors? Let's do a poll out there, Cams, on our social media team if we could. Um, all you serious Warriors fans out there, do you like the Waz, or would you prefer the Warriors? This is the thing. This is what cancel culture do.
Was.
Speak up. If you have issues, speak up. Don't
Was.
let the world. And if we can get back to this, I think the Panthers were fife from other clubs or other sources that's just gonna silence people, bro. And I think social media teams in all clubs, it'd be good to be active against other teams, bro. And for a bit of banter in there. The fans love it, man.
All right, on to the two exciting games. Two games where teams were playing like their season were on the line. Um, Man, this was a good game. Both were good. Sharks Roosters. We all went Roosters on this, but when you watch that game, man, that last 20 minutes, did you think they had it in them?
Bro,
Once Joey went,
I
once Wali'i was cool pulled.
the fucking Roosters were pure hard in that one. And if
Ah,
you look at the lineup, it was the brilliance in their halves that got them home. Sam Walker had an amazing game. His form in this last few weeks for
yeah,
the
these last
Roosters
3 weeks, man, he's
is
been
almost given them a chance to you know,
just
be
reset like
confident
you.
in themselves
Yeah.
that this young kid can do stuff other halves can't do, like pull out tries out of nowhere. And if with the combination of Kerry, if they can get they got their backs to the walls, bro. But if their forwards can get them lay a platform,
Mm.
they'll be pretty tricky. And I
Man,
think
look at
that's
the
what
workload Lindsay Collins put in
I
again.
think the
Like this
combination
is
of Kerry Walker and Tedesco, you got three powerhouse names there in their spine versus a Sharks outfit that was tough, man, and they looked really good at the start.
go out for it, man.
Trindle's always fucking dangerous. These wingers, bro, doing amazing things, good runs out of their own half,
Oh, Nico, bro, that
and it's
when
almost
Nico
like
started
they
going at the beginning,
they tease you because Hines moves the ball really beautifully. They're a beautiful looking team, but I don't know. I think they're just short. And this Hines is their source of attack and
yeah, yeah.
points. Trindle's coming good, like I said, but I just think they were a couple of names short of people who can get it done in the tight games like that. I think Sam Walker actually took it early, didn't he? Took that one point with about 5 7
Yeah,
minutes
yeah.
out
No, yeah, there was still heaps of time to run, so there was
and
still
just backed their
opportunities.
defence. And it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
kind of a dogged. And
Yeah,
this
it
is
was
what finals
Teddy did
football
the
is about.
first charge down, and then Kerry got the second charge down. So they
Roosters,
just defended for ages, yeah.
that's right, and that's what they're gonna do,
So
bro.
that's why it was gutsy, yeah, yeah.
With a team missing Hargroves, it's been such a awesome performance, man.
Well,
Um,
that's where we,
Butch
yeah, we
Brothers been
kind of
going
all
awesome,
caught it. Mm.
and Smith's got to stand up for them to be real
Brandon,
contenders.
yeah.
He's got to be a bit more of a potent in the ruck there, and if
He
he
had some
can
good
unleash
runs.
Keary and
He had some
Walker
good runs.
with some good service, these guys like I don't know with the fitness sweating on Manu and Suari or with them, but
Both gone.
are they for this game
So
coming up?
Swali, yeah, Swali, because he's got a history, he's automatic 11 days.
No
So he's
way.
definitely out.
Manu's probably suffering that hammy, eh?
Yeah, yeah, and that hammy sounds pretty serious.
It's a disco, bro. If Tedesco can bring out the
Look at that, like
Tedesco of
everyone thought he was dead and
2020
gone. Origin,
2019,
man.
he can win you a game, also. So, um, yeah, like I said, bro. What do you think about this? They said this controversy of there's only 12,000 people at the game because it's a half stadium still being attendance 12,000
Yeah, that
540.
was pretty hard, eh? Like that
Um,
they packed it out, but
you
that's
look
all
at
they could get in.
when you look at on TV and as a product, the World Cup had packed out stadiums. The fucking over here, the AFL are crazy with their stadiums.
All
Fucking
right.
80, 90,000 people, man,
Oh
watching. I don't
shucks.
know if they're up to finals yet, but that could be their regular season home crowds. 80, 90,000, bros. So the Sharks, I don't know, they missed the opportunity. If the NRL wanted to really make a call, would have forced this game to go to a packed out
Core
Allianz
Stadium.
Stadium or
Yeah,
something like
yeah,
that, but they didn't want to give up their home ground, which is another thing. But
yeah.
I still thought the game was, as a TV product, you don't know if it's packed or not. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
we still had a, because it was
The atmosphere was good.
elimination
Yeah, yeah.
final. Well, both games, it's just that tightness, bro. It just comes down to these halves. If they can do the kicking game, and if you come down to like a fucking tight game where you need to fucking drop kick, you have to have. I mean, we'll rip into the next game. I can't wait to talk
Mm,
about the next game. I thought that
yeah,
game was even a higher level, but this game in
yeah, yeah.
itself, it's just I think because of the tightness of it was. I was disappointed with the Sharks. They can't score more than 12. I don't know, like guys like
Yeah, that
on
that
the
was one
outside,
thing that
these
was
centers have
confusing.
just become battering rams rather than they're
I
not getting
think
the
their
ball
game
out to them
plan,
one on
yeah,
one.
yeah. I think yeah, their game plan is probably something that hinders them as well because they're
Yeah,
so
guys
flashy.
like Ramian and Talakai, I haven't seen too much of them. That
Yeah.
Hines should be trying to get those guys one on one. I mean, Talakai on his day, bro, he's up there, bro, with the best centers. He's
Oh,
just
they
got good
covered him though.
hands
He
and
got some early ball during this game,
strong
and they
king.
had him covered. So
But
as much
they
as
start using him as a battering ram. It's like
yeah, yeah, without
knocking.
letting him really ball play. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. These just most of his ball. Yeah, it's just
but
run through
I
them.
mean, you look at
Yeah.
their lineup. He had Manu, Billy Smith was
Billy
solid.
Smith's coming into his form as well.
Yeah,
He's been pretty good.
so I mean, you can say case they just got outplayed. Walker and Curious was.
But
Um,
well, that's the thing. This is that Roosters team. Everyone kept saying on paper they look awesome, and now they're starting to show it on the field at the right time of the year. Um, and it's at Shark Park. I mean, that's the thing. As much as it's only 12,000 people, that was 12,000 Sharks fans pretty much. And so for the Roosters to get up behind everything against them, that was
it's
yeah.
almost
I
like
guess
both teams are now falling into place on paper wise where we'd expect them in the competition.
yeah,
The
yeah, pretty
Roosters have done really
much.
well to almost resurrect their season,
Well,
and
yeah.
it's week two of the finals, and they're still in there.
Well,
That's a
and that's the
success
thing. That's
already.
where experience
Ahead of
comes now.
fucking a lot of
Yeah,
decent teams that missed the
yeah.
eight. So
Again, we talk
for a
about
team
these.
that's
Yeah,
was quite poor in the first half of the season,
yeah.
it's not all doom and gloom in that club, bro.
Yeah.
He
Well, not
the
long
coach, the
ago.
brilliance of
Again,
that coach has managed to get this team.
yeah.
You question some of his decisions not to bring back Walker like a lot sooner, but there's the kettle there. They got the kettle. They
Well,
got
this
the
is the same
fucking
coach
numbers to
who
meet
was,
there to play decent footy.
mm,
With whether they can go on with it against a fucking
the
hurting
Storm.
storm, it's gonna make it for an awesome game. And
Mm,
that's another rivalry um
yeah,
that's gonna pick up. So it's gonna be tough with our Hargroves, bro, but you just never know. You never know. Storm are hurt. And these
that's a
guys are
strong. Yeah.
confident now. I think they're on a run. Five
Well,
or
yeah.
six.
They're about six on the trot now, and you think again, this is the caliber of their coach. Not long ago, this was the same coach who was in the same position as Ivan Cleary,
They're
potentially
like almost
looking at
flying under
going
the
for a
radar.
three-peat. Yeah, and now they've come into the season where experience counts.
They're becoming
When
the
you come
Whareanga
into here,
Bears of
you know how to
the
run.
finals
Yeah.
season, if you look at it, because
Well, yeah,
like I
and
said,
finals is
man,
all about adversity.
that's
Yeah.
really a fucking coin toss for me. Was
Yeah.
Storm versus Roosters. I'm looking at this team. A lot would depend with the availability. Like as you said, with us all, that's huge out
Mm.
because they're already missing.
Well, that's
He
what they
come
were
with the
missing,
conga.
eh? Genuine back. So it'll be
Yeah,
interesting. Yeah, Daniel Tupol's is still out as well.
yeah,
So
that's right. Injuries have hurt them, bro, and fucking
genuine backs are going to be
Hargrave's
real key.
stupidity have hurt them. With him firing, that would have been mean. I mean, with Hargraves, Radley, Brendan Smith, Lindsay Collins in the team, brass,
Well, I think yeah, those forwards probably
dangerous.
even out for the Storm. So it's
Mm.
probably benefits
They,
the Storm that their forwards weren't firing and
I
probably
almost
evens out.
think they even up, bro.
Yeah, yeah,
Because the
yeah.
Storm, for me anyway, in terms of like those players that can bend the line with their runs, man,
They've
you've got
lost it, eh? They've
workhorses,
yeah,
but I don't think you've got like ball runners. Maybe the only one is
just a
Asofa
sofa,
coming off the
Nelson.
bench.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so it's gonna be close, bro. And then the full battle, and it's gonna come down to these. It's gonna be an awesome game because look at the spine. This is top quality money going into the spine of Munster. These guys will be hurting. Munster, Harry Grant, Jeremy Hughes versus Kiri, Tedesco, Walker.
So
For
what are the
$1 million
Sharks?
up in there. So Sharks a little bit disappointing. To
Yeah,
be honest,
oh, they should be
they
quite
ended up the
disappointed.
same as
Like,
last year. Probably
yeah,
a little
yeah,
bit better because they were 0-2 last year. Which actually now worse off. They're bottom eight,
yeah.
whereas last year they were in the top four. So like you've been saying all year, it was a bit of like
Punished the yeah, punished
bottom
the other
place
team.
bullies.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah, but you see how they interesting what they do. I don't even know who they're buying next year because I'm yeah, like you just can't put your finger on what they need.
I think they're a lot better with Connor Tracy as one of these fullbacks who do the work. Um, would you give Trindle and Hines another go? Like this, for me, there should be enough points in there, bro. I'm not too sure. Maybe the boys. I love these whistles like Royce Hart, Rudolph, but I think maybe they're just missing a bit of sting in the forwards. Like,
I think yeah, maybe the Heinz
um,
Trindle, just Heinz seems more like a natural six. Like he loves to run, but then that just kind of cancels out your
you reckon
what
he's
your
not
six
your
can
man?
do.
So you're not saying like as the seven, as the organizer and orchestrator, he's not the one. Horse.
Well, he can. That's the thing. Like he's an awesome, but I think that because of the way he plays, no one else can shine because he does like he is so good that
Bit of a
he
hogger.
skips across field, yeah, and he can do a much like so much. And I think, well, yes, he's so good that when he hogs, he probably scores. But yeah, I think it just kind of nullifies what the others can do. And yeah, like you're saying, like Talakai, if he's skipping across field, by the time he gets it, all he can do is run straight. So maybe it's just the
Maybe
game
they
plan. Fitzgibbon needs to kind of yeah, I don't know,
maybe if you
change it up a
were
bit.
if you could make an argument for like a star started centre or outside back, imagine that Joseph Manu at fullback
Well,
on the
these
end of
guys,
this Cronulla
oh
Sharks.
yeah, yeah.
Because
Well,
I
that's the
love
thing.
Trindle. I love the fact that
Maybe
he's
that's what
tough,
they need, an
but
out
he's
and
a
out
ball player
fullback.
if required. Whereas
Mm.
Hines, I think Hines is a more of a too much of a dancer. Like goes up and wide. It's I don't know. I'm like you. I think in Hines on his own is the dominant half. Maybe they're just not doing enough in there, or they don't seem like
Around
a
them.
team for
Yeah,
me
yeah.
that can go to the extra next level.
Well,
Where
that's the thing.
the
Other than
Panthers are
Hines,
playing
you
it,
you
where the
don't. Yeah,
Broncos are playing it, where
yeah,
at times this year the Warriors have lifted their game, elevated
yeah.
their game to. Even the Storm they're capable of playing that finals elite, almost state of origin like quality. Whereas the Sharks just seem to me like a decent premiership team, a club team.
Mm. Yeah, but yeah, again, real tight one. But just gutsy from the Roosters. I think that was the. It was quite hard watching that game because it's kind of like the position, seeing the where they were. Like that's where the Warriors could have grinded something. Like just seeing that's what I wanted from the Warriors when I was watching that Roosters game. Like yeah, just some of this grind. So I know they had the. I guess that probably plays on both the Warriors and Storm. I guess mentally you kind of play hard, but also knowing in the back of your mind you've got a life. You've got a chance. So maybe that's part of finals footy too, is that you don't play your final too early, um, until you need to, and these guys did need to. So yeah, I think in terms of a game, you weren't disappointed. Like you can't say the Sharks. Like if the Sharks turned up like the Warriors or the Storm, then the fans would have reason to kind of have a sook. As far as yeah, not going all the way, yeah, suck for them. But in terms of a season, the fact that you kind of finished your season and tried in that game, they
I
made
think on
pay.
paper they got a better. They might have almost a better team than the Warriors. I mean, the
Nah, who's
Warriors
their
got some
13? Who's their
superstars,
13? Their
but they
13's
almost got some battlers as well in their team. Whereas the
yeah,
Warriors were able to play above their level, and the Cronulla Sharks just haven't been able to go from bottom eight team to a serious premiership contender, which the Warriors
just
have been
consistency
amazing.
from some of their guys like Ronaldo. He kind of fell off after last year's heroics. It's kind of
Mm.
he has been
Still a good
quite
finisher.
disappointing this year.
Still a good
Yeah, yeah.
finisher. I
Just
just
the
don't think
positions
if he
he's
can
been getting
compare
in them probably
wingers
not. Yeah,
to in other clubs, there's a lot of wingers out there doing some mean extra work up there in the hit ups. Whereas
yeah,
he's just maybe on the skinny side of a winger, bro. That's just a bit light. Doesn't
yeah.
score.
Hey, maybe the way he carries. Yeah, yeah. He just is
Oh, you look at
slightly.
fucking Toro, he's shorter than him, but just Toro's built for meters.
Right. So it's just different. He's just a fob. All right, the final game of the weekend, man. Yeah, like you're saying, it just got better and better. You kind of should have been bedtime for most people because there's no one's team. But the Knights and the Raiders, bloody hell, man. Yeah, you and Stace both went Knights on this. Um, I was being a hater when I said Raiders, but man, if you watched that game, you could have forgiven me for picking the Raiders because they turned up, man. They turned up and they attacked that middle like their game plan. We kind of thought they'd be missing big pups, and Horsburgh to suspension, but man, they turned up big time.
Yeah, and they were
Elliot
missing those
Whitehead,
two.
yeah, yeah,
Even makes it the performance even more
yeah, yeah.
amazing. I'm another one
Tapane was
that's
huge.
I got far more on my face. I even though I did pick the Knights, I didn't see that performance in them, and they were
Mm,
in that fucking game, man.
yeah,
I don't want to, state the obvious, but man, if Jamal Fogarty lost that game for them, if he done his job, they're winning. He
bro.
had
Well,
like
they got
three,
those
four
kicks
goes at the
all
cherry
game.
there, man, and he missed. Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The even beginning of that extra time, I don't
and
know why
two
he
of them
didn't
were
kick.
like two or three of them
They
were
were
like
ready. They were
touchdowns
ready.
as well.
But before they did those kicks in that first set of the extra time, they were within their 20, within their
He
30.
turned down. He fucking
And then they
goes.
got into the 10, and then they were like, oh, now we're too close. I'm like,
I think with a minute
guys,
and a half to go, he's fucking on the right hand side of the upright, bro. Perfect position. He goes for a fucking bomb to the wing, bro, and they turn the ball over.
yeah, yeah, just
With
trying to
no,
Hollywood, like, kind of get a
that
awesome
was
win or
one of the
something.
perfect times to have a crack at it.
What is Fogarty? Is he indigenous? He's got a bit of like the island in us, maybe.
You
Because that's
reckon?
just well, I don't know. Because what makes a person do that kind of play instead of just fucking
Whoa, whoa,
that's
whoa, whoa,
you've
whoa,
got to
whoa,
have a
whoa!
bit of I want to be flashy.
What are you
Like
saying
white
here?
man can't jump. White man
Wow,
can't
wow,
jump. You know
wow.
how he said.
So you
Yeah,
saying
he
that
said
like
you're too busy looking good while you
Bob's
lose the game.
indigenous here have no nous of where they are in the game, and they just what?
Yeah, he wanted a nice fancy finish. Like I could go for a drop goal, but man, if this guy scores in the corner,
Why
gee,
would you bring in
oh,
his background? Why would you bring in his background? Like like these players are incapable of making proper decisions. How dare you?
well, what made
How
that
dare you,
decision?
mate?
Why? What? Because you said I was just trying to give a theory. You asked why would
Number
he do
one,
this, and
you
and
don't
so
know
I'm just
what
trying to
fucking
answer your question.
heritage he is.
Was your question rhetorical? I wasn't sure if it was
You're the
rhetorical or
one that
not.
asked.
You're the one
But,
who asked. I'm
but I was
answering.
wondering where you're going with this
You're like, I
fucking
don't know why
background.
he. Yeah, see, so I'm just saying this may
So
be why he
explain
didn't
yourself.
kick.
He might
Maybe
be.
that's why he didn't take the drop kick and try to kick for his winger.
Yes. You see if this guy's is part of a mob or what, mate. I want to know. And then I want to throw a back to Tana. Maybe he is. Then what?
Nah, that
What are
was
you saying?
gutsy by the Raiders,
What
man.
are you
Like
saying?
just stay in there.
That he lost the game for them? Well, I said that. Regardless of his background. He didn't
Oh,
lose.
when he
That's
kicked
not
out
why
on the
they lost
full.
the game. they lost the game because as a halfback and as someone who runs the team, you should have creamed that off. Um, should have won that, and the Knights were still amazing, bro. Like fucking, how good was Ponga? Ponga just toughed it out. Like really, the game was on its head, and
There was that those
um,
three tries in quick succession.
Sully,
I don't
you
know
know
what
what
happened to
saved
the
them, cats?
Raiders.
Was the biggest thing coming out of that game was the old fucking bite the forearm. I saw what happened
Oh,
to Rog
gamble.
with his forearm. Why he got
You see
that?
the marks?
But fucking Jack won. What background is he's definitely Aboriginal.
Nah. Did you hear?
is,
Did you
is,
hear
there,
MG?
is
You
there a
hear my
correlation
guy is like
between him being
it was funny.
Aboriginal and him biting down? Because his thing was funny too. Remember the ref pulled it up and Gamble sold that shit. It's probably not
Uh,
even,
it
but
was
he
fucking
sold it.
see
It's like,
that.
that's not.
Especially
It's
of
a
all
lot
people
there.
to bite, because that guy's already like an annoying little prick on the field.
But he
Instead
was
of
so
bite him,
lucky.
I'm gonna show everyone.
This guy got to buy a lotto ticket because how lucky was he? He goes straight up to the ref like, oh, he's pushing down on his head
Yeah,
on the
on
arm. Well, what do you want me to do? I
my
can't get
mouth's
over here.
open. He's like, yeah, and that's
To
what
stay on
MG's
the
saying. Like,
field,
well, if you put your arm in someone's mouth, what do you expect? Like, he put his arm in his
but
mouth.
but I think he actually did bite down, and there was evidence of that. And he was
Yeah,
so lucky, bro. And it was probably like fair enough that the Knights come away with it anyway because I think he should have been. But the crowd turned after that, bro, and it picked up these Knights players
yeah. They just
who
got on the
willed this game.
bandwagon of it.
Pahs is playing at the peak of his powers, bro. And if
Well,
we get
yeah,
this
and that was a
game,
turning point
I
because that's
really
the
hope the
thing, though.
Warriors win because I almost fear the Knights than I do over the Warriors with
Mm.
how they've been playing, winning a tight one and the Raiders. I still think maybe we got the better pack than them, but what they can provide on attack can hurt most teams also.
Oh yeah, just so quick when they skipped
With
out to that
power,
Phoenix Roslin, man, we've been mentioning him a few times the last few weeks, but man, he's been huge for
how
them in the
good,
middle.
bro!
Yeah,
Just his service.
and yeah.
Um,
So it'd be good to now people actually talking about him being a Kiwi. So
and
yeah,
like
like
we're talking about the levels before, bro. They've given old Whittemore Mason a bit of stick because he was saying how the Knights have that guy spine
yeah.
without Ponga, and
But there's a thing, no, yeah,
pretty much
they've
stating the
tidied that up.
opposite. And all the people were
No,
getting
yeah,
butt hurt about it. But you look at, but
now they fixed up their spine
these guys are
after they
playing
kind of
above.
had like
Right
wobbles. Yeah,
now, Kalen Ponga has managed to do what great players do: is not only play at his level, but bring other
bring the
people
rest
up
of them up, eh?
and
Yeah,
get people to play above their capabilities. And we see it
yeah.
in Hastings, bro. We
Look
see it
at
in
Tyson
Gamble.
when
Gamble
Tyson
always
got
had
kippy from the Broncos because
Gamble
like
always had
screaming.
his he was always keen, bro. It
Yeah,
was it
yeah.
was it was
I saw
more of
that
a
in the
time
Bronx.
to.
He always looked good, but he was just a bit yeah, I don't know if
Well, I
he's
think it
a
was
bit of
players
Fiki
like him
Valle.
is
He's a bit of
is
a
trying to
Fiki
curb
Valle guy.
their attitude, bro. You
Yeah.
know, he comes across. If you look at him, he looks like mouthy to players.
He is.
He
He
can really
is.
rock
He's
people up.
a fucking grub.
But if he just like runs hard, he's almost like a good backup on plays with front rowers
He's
that
big
can
too.
offload.
He's like a 13. He's
Yeah,
like a ball playing 13. He looks pretty big.
exactly. His big body and what they've managed to do is find Ponga space. And Ponga's just been killing it on that left hand side. Right
Mm.
hand side defenses versus this knife team.
Or you look how
They
they
got to
get
be
start
fucking
that
on it.
game.
Oof,
It
oof.
looked like it was going to be one of those nights when their first move, they just go Ponga, Best, Maju.
Bros,
I was
because
like, oh no.
exactly, Best and
See
Maju
ya,
have been
Raiders. It's one of those nights.
those two have been dining out at Sky City Buffet for
Cut
fucking
up.
a good fucking 10, 11 weeks. But not only that, like on the right hand side, like we were saying, how good
Dominic Young.
Tyson Gamble's been going.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
they've missed what's his name's kicking game, so it'll be good to Hastings.
Yeah, Jackson
Well,
Hastings
he
out, eh?
played, but the game coming up, if he can apply pressure, I think they got probably a good variety of kicking game between him and
Jackson
Caleb Ponga.
Hastings out.
And Caleb Ponga is
Jackson
starting to
Hastings
stand
out for
up a
the
bit
game.
more now, take more of a kicking role as well. and share those duties. But like you said, people like Gamble just gotta tough it out, bro. Just be a running six, eh?
Yeah, 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 and
Let
just
these
take the
guys
ball.
ball play.
He's pretty and he's big. Yeah, yeah, bit of
It's
mongrel.
almost
Just
you're
take it
letting
to the line.
Ponga be the six, and you become this inside. Because Ponga's like playing a second. Imagine, I don't know, like for me, who's been a fan of league my whole life, but trying to understand it from a union point of view because I've grown up playing union. But it's
Hmm.
almost like these halfbacks now, these dangerous guys like Reynolds and him, are playing on the outside, second 5'8", and the first five is guys like Isaiah and the Panthers, guys
Yeah,
like
yeah.
um,
Tohi Harris.
Tohu Harris for the Warriors, and for
Yeah, just left
Knights,
those guys to
for
receive
Knights
the
it's
ball a
like
little bit
Gamble,
wider, eh?
yeah, for Knights it's like Gamble and what's his name, Jackson Hastings' job is to get Kalen Ponga outside the second five during in the centre. And it's just
Well,
so
yeah,
dangerous
and
for
you look,
majors,
Reese
man.
Walsh plays a very similar game because then he just gets around and just speeds around that. Especially if you can get Reese half on that centre and the second rower. Because then their second row is dying all day. Especially, so that's the thing. If you get those, if you change the play to play like that, then you got to make sure that these guys are ready to defend like that if they make a mistake.
Yeah, what
If you
Reece
get
Walsh does on the
blitzed and
right
have
hand
those kind of
side,
guys,
Ponga does on the left.
Ponga does on the left. Yeah, yeah.
You know, you get these second rows interested. These second rows got to turn in. The centre's got to turn in because the
Mm.
pure speed. And then these guys got the pass to open up on the outside, hit the winger, hit the fullback, or whoever it is coming around the back. Um, but you just really impressed, bro. With one, they're so dangerous because they're on the streak, and two, they toughed it out against a quality Raiders team, which big props to my also Tui Leota, man. He's been a avid supporter. These guys toughed it out, bro. Without they played with their fuckles, man, their hearts,
Yeah, hard out,
and they
man.
were missing Papali'i, Tapane. I thought they won the
He
forward
stood up,
ball,
bro.
bro.
That's
If
Welsh
not,
hard, bro.
if
Watching
not
him
matched
play.
them. But these guys just play toughles.
Yeah.
Poor Hepapuru coming out the back, he was tough as well. Hudson Young, Tapane. Between those two, they did a lot to keep these guys in the game, man. And like I said, they should be fucking playing. They should be playing in that preliminary final. Jamal Fogarty didn't take his chance.
Mm. Man, every other kick during that game, though, mate, right on the line, he was perfect all night with the ball.
Mm.
Just his kicking game.
Yeah,
That's
and
what
that's the
gave
poor thing too. He'll be
him so many
remembered
chances. Yeah,
for
for that
these
last
moments, bro. And it
unfortunate.
comes
Yeah,
down to moments. I think
yeah. People
people
forget
dogging
all the
him
mean
and
work that he did
Forty.
throughout the game. He had
Forty's
some
I
mean
don't
kicks,
think he's
like
a
just
top
getting the
name.
pressure on
They're
the.
probably like one superstar away, or at least one spine player who can offer a bit more on attack. And they're losing Whiten next year, so
Yeah, yeah. So it'll be interesting who they bring.
I think they're gonna make some moves
The
in the off
halves.
season to just to really stay up. Like I said, they got a good culture down there. They're able to grind and pound. And they're just trying to get some fucking star-starter players that can score for them, man.
Just hard because it's similar to the Warriors. Like, who wants to move to Canberra? It's the
Mm,
same thing. It's a very far away way that you can't kind of stay with family. You've got to make a big decision if you want to play for Canberra. Same if you want to play for the Warriors. You're either coming to come back to New Zealand or you've got to, you want to try something different and relocate your whole family and try and settle there for the next season. So it's the same kind of decision. I think that's the hard thing to kind of attract good players to the Warriors and Canberra is just
mm.
location.
I
I
think
guess that
definitely they need
same
another
thing
player
here.
in the halves there.
Hmm.
At least you got. There's not many quality halves going around, so you keep your Fogarty, and he done enough to get them to the eight. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Um, well, you got your ticket today, and it really comes down to these star players standing up for their clubs. There may be one or two players short of going the next level
You
next year,
think
but
that's
they've
a
been a good club
culture?
that's fought it out, eh, bro? And these
Uh,
last few years managed to play at a decent level to to tough teams, make teams fucking bring it in the middle.
yeah, yeah. That kind of team, that kind of culture, with the way the Panthers kind of showed up in the last game, and kind of the the salary that Panthers have to deal with. You reckon Jerome Luai would fit into something like the Raiders?
Fuck, bruh. Did you just open up a fucking can of baked beans now, man? Because I didn't
Oh
even think
yeah,
about this team, bro. But, man, if I'm Ricky Stewart, I'm definitely thinking about someone like Jerome Lawyer. Like I said, bro, in um in the also here Jamal Fogarty. Um, I don't care where he comes from. He might be a bro, one of the cousins, but he done enough to get you there, and
yeah.
he
Having
can
Jerome
always
next to
improve.
me.
Everyone improves us.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, you come give him an opportunity like that to ice the game, he'll do it again next year. Um, so imagine him and Jerome Luai, bro. Who
Should be a good move
I
for
love
Jerome
up
if
and up,
they
but
got good
he's a tall
agents.
horse and he's getting old. Um, you have to
But
get
same
find
kind of
yourself a
yeah, like
fullback,
he's got a
bro.
similar attitude like
Go
Jerome,
for
so they'd
Manu.
probably be best mates.
Who's this? They need to find themselves a fucking speed fullback and get Luai. Offer Luai, give him his mill.
Yeah, I reckon they could afford it.
Give him his mill, he'll come. And then you can say, they fucking got a quality team now, man. Because they've had, like you said, bro, you got to mention their good culture down there of
Yeah,
consistently making the finals.
and
Maybe
just tough
perhaps
team.
not
Like I think Luai would
being too
love,
much of it. They were in a
leading
grand
a
final
tough
not long
team.
ago.
Yeah, imagine Luai behind a tough forward pack like that. Just playing tough footy as
Yes.
well. He could,
Uh,
break open a back line just like, yeah,
and
boys, let's.
Tapani, probably he's got another maybe 1 or 2 years in American. Tapani, Hudson Young. They got some
Yeah, the decent forward
good
pack.
forwards
Yeah.
there, bro.
Let me have a talk to Ricky later in the week, and we'll see what we can try and
I love this guy's press conferences. Zales. He
do.
backs his team,
Ricky's,
bro. I wish I had a
yeah,
boss like Ricky Stewart, man.
yeah.
Um,
All the outside stuff there, it's just about them. Like, no,
yeah.
doesn't matter what you talk about my boys. I got them all. All right. So let's talking of contract talks. Um, Haumole signed for 6 mil, man.
Oh,
Olkalatu. Yeah, Olkalatu's new
wow.
contract. Yeah, yeah, six
Hey,
million
serious,
dollars
you're breaking it down,
over
bro.
seven
When
seven
did this come
years,
out, man? I didn't realize
5 years.
this.
Oh, it's inside, man. You
At
gotta
the
get
Manny.
in the ground, mate.
Is,
Gotta
is this
work hard to
official?
find out this information, man.
I'll get up on fucking. Is this official,
Yeah,
man?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, he re-signed with Manly.
Oh, look,
So
also.
they're quite top heavy. There's some brown paper bags happening in
What's he
Manly or
on?
something.
What's he on?
So it's a new $6 million contract over 7 years, I think, or maybe
Wow.
over
What?
5 years.
Almost $1 million.
Yeah, yeah. So it's quite a big contract. So you think that plus
Man,
Schuster's new
are you
deal?
serious?
You got
Cams, is this for
Turbo and
reals?
DCE.
Bring this up, man. Like, what's this? What's it put him on? Man, Manny definitely has some brown paper bags up in there or some
Yeah,
shit. Or
yeah,
what's going on?
yeah, yeah.
Like,
So that's the latest.
are, they, are
Awesome,
these guys
awesome
Dutch this guy?
Volkaratu, but
He's on fucking 800. Like, where's this Cooper coming from? Fucking thing's definitely on a million. Jake and thing. I think
yeah, yeah.
Turbo's
True,
over a
both of them
million.
are.
Jake is
Yeah,
close to it too as well. Maybe. Well, I hope so. But nah, sorry, bro. Well, like I said, and being a Toko man, good on you, my bro. Get,
yeah, yeah. Well,
get
that's
what
the
you
thing.
can, man.
It's always
You
good just hearing and seeing these
you
guys
do the
picking
hard
up
work.
these big contracts.
That's where you get the plums, man. So congratulations, brother. Um, in terms of doing your squad and being pretend coach, bro. You look at this Manly team. Yeah, it's interesting times ahead for them. Where do they start investing? And I quite like it, bro. Some of these young forwards that have potential but haven't really played to their best consistently. So maybe it's a good sign from the club to say, "Hey, man, we back you. We got
Yeah,
you."
yeah,
The same thing with Schuster. Everyone's questioning his fucking salary, and it's for me is I hope they don't get this shit get to their headspace because it's like, so what? It might not even be true, like the figures, but be proud. And I always say it, man. Your life as a professional footballer is not long, and set yourself up where you can get to that money, man. Yeah, but I think he's well worth it all. He should be. Well, you don't know what's going to happen with Freddie's selecting the team, bro. But surely he's due for a turn. Um, got some good second rows there, but yeah, no, well done, bro. Well done.
All right. The prank gone wrong on Instagram. I don't know if you follow Valentine Holmes on Insta.
Oh, totally.
He
What's going on
posted up
here? Is
and
this
then
a
pulled it back
turn?
down,
Did you
man.
on a U-turn? It's like, oh, this is what we're going with now. It's pretend. I
Exactly.
was just
Just I want to
pretending.
post something and then oh no
Like,
jokes,
dude,
jokes. Sorry.
and you put it on
Just
your own story. Like, yes,
yeah. Oh,
this.
was it his own story? I thought it was like leaked from a friend or something. But
No, he
nah.
put it
So
on
he
his own
just posted
story. He
on
took
his
it
story
down,
and then
Buzz. So, I mean, this is the ultimate of fucking errors coming out of your own end.
yeah.
You've fucking given up the ball at kickoff and they scored. It's so huge in terms of, well, he just fucked up. And so now he's going with
Yeah,
this
it's
case.
just annoying,
But,
you know, for a
uh,
team that's kind of been kicked out of the eight.
mm,
Just stay out of the papers. Just go train hard now. Like, why give yourself like at least come on air like, oh yeah, we know we're just relaxing, but
man,
to get airtime for this is like,
yeah.
guys,
It's poor.
you
Like,
came off a muffle season. You guys
if it
should
was
be
America, like,
disappointed,
he would lose a lot of sponsors, you know. And that's what these guys were like. Then someone like him, he's a superstar. So I don't know how many
and he's
sponsors.
not young. Like he's
I
not
don't
like
know if he
Reese
is
Walsh just learning the
got any
first time.
sponsors under him, but just in terms of your IP, your worth as an athlete, you know what? For me, I speak. I don't speak for the world here. Like, man, I don't want to see Boca in your mouth. Like, yeah, I know you fucking rolling in it and can go and have a nice time, but I'd rather you like kind of compare to the common man. Why you play? You play for the love of the game.
Yeah,
Like, we don't want to see that life.
yeah. Well, especially as a yeah, it's like a bro, like a cookie, like
Apparently, he's
oh,
gonna
bro,
fucking get
like
out of this, bro, because
well,
they
yeah.
don't
Hopefully he
test.
gets off. Hopefully they just
They don't
because
test
there's more
in off
important
season.
footy on at the moment.
They don't test in off season.
Yeah,
But
yeah, that's right.
we also it could be Masima. He was cooking pork. All sorts of
Cooking
things.
pork and he didn't have that blue or red table salt thing. He just had that to to kapinga his masima. And yeah, it's just a terrible look. Like just the stigma around it. Like even if it's like
You live it.
even if he is using, it's just like guy, like bro, like why?
Keep that
It's
shit
just not.
undercover.
I know, I
Yeah,
know. That's just failed. Like
yeah.
whoever's supplying him is like, don't come to me, bro. I don't know you. Don't talk to me,
Man, we all know he's on it, man. Matty Johns,
bro.
Andrew Johns.
Yeah, it's just
Please, man. I want to be on it with
yeah,
them too, man. She, they
boy, yeah.
fucking
So that was just
show off like that shit on us. But
yeah.
I
I don't
like the
know.
Panthers. We're talking about like social media stuff. You ain't seen Jerome Luai be in the dog box like that. He's
Yeah,
done controversial stuff,
yeah. Just his
but
words and kind of
he's
like
almost
speaking
like
out.
what's his name? Kyrie Irving is in the NBA. Like, just have his own view. That's not the same
Yeah, what
as
everyone else wants
normal.
them to
Well, I
say.
don't want to say normal
Yeah, yeah,
people, but not the same. Let's say not the same as mainstream. Um,
yeah,
but fucking love characters like this also, man. You know,
yeah,
we don't know who. You know, he's from west side of Sydney. Like, we don't know SAR. Well, we have to face as Samoans, but I still respect the fact that he's Samoan. He's still like represents his family really well. He's a young dad, but he's an awesome dad. So you see all of that in his social media as well, bro. But you don't see
mm,
nothing this Mevalier shit like some of these kids get themselves into trouble. You don't see what Kong Benty was doing at the Dylan
yeah,
Brown. Like, and I love you, Dylan
yeah.
Brown, but you got caught slipping with your hands in the cookie jar, man. Like,
I think that's
you're one
one
of my
thing though.
favorite
Like
players,
as
also,
much as
but
the
you fucked up, man. You
yeah,
fucked up.
I think this is what as much as it's annoying, it also is a reality check that these kids, like, because I guess people put so much pressure on these kids, you know, and to, you know, coming into finals, and you know, you expect this professionalism. You know, we'll go all in on these players that are making silly mistakes until they come on social media, and you realize, oh shit, these kids are only 26, 27. Like, They're still kids, like dumb mistakes in an environment they're in. But again, they're after you've had a few, they're just kids with a lot of adrenaline and yeah. So as much as there's pressure and big time footy, yeah, I guess it's remembering that yeah they make mistakes, but yeah, hard one for Val. Like I love Val, especially as a Queenslander,
I won't
awesome
count it against him
competitor.
as a player. Still an awesome player.
Yeah, yeah,
But what? If that's
yeah. Yeah, well, it's just
Masima,
like
if
because
that's if that's I don't care. I don't care. Like, you know,
well, I guess he gets off. Yeah, there's no
if you
one's
do
gonna
your
test
time,
it.
if he does get penalised or whatever, cancel culture,
So when he
I'll be
comes
pissed
back,
off.
if he comes
Like,
back next year
because
and he's Kaya,
what's he done?
who we gonna
Nothing.
blame it?
He
We're
can't
gonna
prove
blame the
nothing.
Masima.
I know
Comes back next year
nothing.
and he's Kaya, we'll blame the Masima.
It's almost like
Shadows.
not news.
I was hoping the boys would jump on last game of the season last week for the Isaiah Kalava Memorial Team, the Wise Guys on Sunday.
Oh, they finished up.
Yeah, yeah. So the boys had the last game on
Oh,
Sunday.
well done, Usos.
Yeah, yeah.
How'd it
That
go?
was good. Yeah, another loss, I think. I don't think the
How many
boys.
games has that been?
I think it's five and five or six in total. Maybe six, including
Awesome.
the
Usos,
preseason.
big shout out.
Yeah. So
Who's
we get
playing,
the
man?
little run for the boys.
Drop us some of the names, man. Some consistent
Yeah.
players
So
that's
we
been
had
showing up.
bro consistent players. We had
Yourself?
Tully,
Have you been
Tully
there
turning
nearly
up.
every
Yeah,
game?
mate. Turned up every game. Tully turned up. Fingao and Uppy. Yeah, and
Oh,
our
nice.
wider boys. Yeah, bro. Um, Raj bailed out early in the season. Last couple of games he missed out.
Why?
Mans has been injured. Is
Injured.
I don't know. I think he's injured for Masters, but can still play rugby.
Poor Rog.
So
That's
it's
poor Rog. I just want to say, kind of for sure. Fuck, that's awesome, man. All that Isaiah's Usos.
Stacey. James Stace. So
Yes.
like, he's been
You know what I'm
playing for
saying?
us.
He's
He's
been
been
playing.
consistent. Yeah.
Shout out to Stace.
So
Love
like,
you,
he's been
Us.
good, man. Nah, yes, so it's good for the boys. Bob Sevilla. So like, Bob came played. He missed the
Yeah,
first
they
game and
mentioned
then
in that
played the
group
whole
chat.
season.
Dumb man.
Yeah, so like, and he's good too. He didn't get any injuries, but he's putting on all the shots.
Was he?
So yeah,
Coming out of the line, eh?
this guy just do those after he played the first game and realized oh, it's all right. I just have there's no one stepping, so he's just smashing people. It's like
Was
this
he?
guy, yeah, this guy just
Man, I'm
become fussy
disappointed Bobby
people.
hasn't come on here, man. And you know what? Podcast
We'll,
world out there,
we'll
bro.
jump on
My
live for
mate
the grand
Bobby
final,
here
man.
is a fucking just encyclopedia machine
Yeah,
of facts and stats. So look forward to you, Bobby, coming one day, bro, and sharing yourself, mate. But he'd be keen and ready for this game coming up, Bales.
yeah, man. All right, let's break down these two games that are coming up. The first game today, we Wednesday, Friday night. Friday night. Storm Roosters, you're saying it, bro. This especially finals time. These guys with experience. Storm coming off a real bad loss for them, especially in finals. Bellamy, man, Bellyache he didn't cut his words. He pretty much just disgruntled at that press
Mm.
conference. Kind of just
He was
he's
going off all
I don't know what
game,
that
man.
was.
Not that
Yeah, yeah,
last game.
yeah. He's just looking at it like, well, yeah, I don't know what these guys. Yeah, it's interesting. Eh? Like the way his style of coaching. It must be just pretty much like get them prepped and then it's all them because that's how he just talks. Like I don't know if they want it. Like it's up to them. Like just because I guess he knows like there's not much as a coach you can do further. Like you guys know what you need to do, and if you guys don't do it, what can I do? So yeah, Storm coming off a real big loss for them as a team. And the Roosters coming in after a real difficult one. Man, what are your initial thoughts on this, especially with two experienced finals teams?
Oh, huge game. It's almost like a toss of a coin. Um, Huge in for Melbourne is Justin Olam, and I was quite surprised they didn't
Oh,
go with
Oliman,
him.
eh? Well,
And
it's Tony Moipea gone because man, he was
Darius,
showing
he's
up
out.
big time.
Yeah, it
I
was
think that was just hooked. Then that's
when
just hooked
Kitsani
because
just
the way he
cut him
played,
in
he
half with
deserved
that
to. Yeah,
step on
I
the
felt
inside
sorry for Tony Moipea, man.
twice. He was giving
He's
him
usually good,
nightmares.
but man,
He's trying to shoot out of the line too to break. That's what you
yeah,
got to do. But
you
then you
got
got
to,
to
but you got
execute
to
and
make
finish off
that
the
like,
tackle.
yeah, exactly.
Remus Smith is another, and who I thought, man, he should have.
Oh, Remus.
He's decent, bro. So they're missing him. Marion Sever's still in there. And Warbrick and Meany. So they
Oh, who have
A
they
big
showed
out
out?
Xavier Coates with that really
Ah,
harsh
yeah, yeah.
knee
Ankle
injury,
syndromosis.
and obviously Ryan Peppenhausen. So I don't know, bro. Close
Who
to
comes on the bench? Are they bringing in
close.
Falo?
Nah. Well, it was in. No.
Okay.
They got forward rotation.
Ah,
And they're
yeah,
not
yeah.
even named them in the Oh, no, sorry, I lie. Possibly in the reserves. That'd be interesting, but it's a forward rotation of
Ah, okay.
McDonald,
Yeah, yeah.
Eisenhuth, Asofa Solomona, and Tarek Sims. He's going to be huge. I
That's
think
playing their hand, eh? Showing their hand already.
this this forwards. I was saying like these guys are toilers without like Tui gives his heart, but he's not a big knock the door down kind of. He's just
Oh,
kind of like
he's just yeah. He's a
consistently makes
big
his
version
tackles.
of Marty Tapau. Like he's just old
Mm.
school, and he just busts through everyone. Yeah, but
and
he hasn't really got a footwork. He hasn't got
Welch's
an offload.
lean on defense, but with the ball in hand, he isn't the same usual what he's like. Um,
He's funny the way he runs. He's just like a robot. Keep his
yeah,
head down like.
Katoa's fucking mean if they can get him running to the one on one with the ball, especially against these guys like Walker and Kiri. They'll be tested by Katoa coming back in, run to these guys. I think too many outs for Roosters for me. You look at that forward packet.
See,
It's only like Brandy
Joshua
Smith,
Wong was awesome.
Radley. Yeah,
Tua
bro.
Wong.
So he's a good one coming
Yeah.
through. Um,
And he did awesome to cover in the centers too with the injuries.
they got
So
quite on the
he's one to
bench.
keep an eye on.
Um, it's a hard one, eh? I think they still got Smith and Collins. So and with
Yeah,
Radley
yeah.
here, you might have to say they almost got an edge on paper. That is, but you
Yeah,
throw in there the
Radley's
fact that they
huge.
got
Radley's
towed
a
up
huge in.
last week. Um, even that fucking that battle in the battle in the spines is top notch. Names Kiri Walker, Tedesco versus Jerome Hughes, Munster, Harry Grant,
Yeah.
and Brendan Smith. Um, this could be like a cost of a coin for me, also. Toss of a coin, toss of a
Ooh.
coin. I'm gonna say Storm, bro.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I said, man, I don't know, man. 50-50.
And yeah, I think yeah, game of like pretty much a forwards and backs. Like you look at the forwards and like you say, maybe the Roosters have a bit of an edge. Harry Grant's huge. I don't know if Brandon Smith, the way Harry Grant's been going, I think Brandon Smith nullifies him. Like you kind of cancel
He
each
had a
other out.
poor game.
Linz,
He had a
yeah,
poor game, and he's a lot
yeah,
faster
yeah.
than
Well, Harry
Smith.
Grant's had a few poor games. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Throughout the season, they've been very unstorm like everyone's talked up Harry, but he's just done enough. But he hasn't like lit the competition on fire as the number one standout
yeah.
hooker.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. So you kind of look and think, well, yeah, maybe the Roosters just take it on the forwards. Liero after showing last week, kind of matching up against Siwa Wong after his performance, and then Victor Radley. So yeah, in the forwards you kind of give it to the Roosters, but then just with the injuries, Fikalenga Ponga, new name, I don't know, all the best to the kid. But yeah, I think just with some of the Storm experience in the back there, probably going to come out over the top. So yeah, probably looking at a real backline focused attack from the Storm. I think if they try and take them up front, yeah, I think the Roosters might actually come over the top on this. So it'll be interesting though the game plan. But definitely has to be the Storm bouncing back after last week and those.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, just those injuries I think is going to
Yeah,
be too much for them to
yeah.
overcome.
And I would not a huge surprise either if the Roosters come on top, bro, because still some quality names, man. Remember, obviously he's got experience. He's coming back, getting another go at it because of the Joseph Manu out there. So if the Storm are quite lucky that the Roosters aren't at full strength because there are so many outs for the Roosters.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
funny, man. Billy Smith, who's been going awesome at centre. Suoli was coming into some form. Manu was just Joseph Manu, bro. So, yeah, bro, that's us, eh? Storm in a close one.
Yeah, and I think either of those teams, Panthers enjoying their break. I think they're
For picking them
more
up.
more than confident. Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
see
Yeah.
these two teams showing anything that can trouble the Panthers?
No, well, that's the thing. Like off the back of what we've seen all season,
Mm.
and even in this final series, as much as they were gutsy, and probably the outs for the Roosters as well. Like again, finals team.
I think maybe the
Probably both teams.
Roosters.
Yeah.
I think Storm like just recently, Panthers have had their number, bro. Um, I don't see them having enough in their artillery to go against the Panthers, but in the Roosters, I don't know, they might have the style to rough them up.
Yeah, I think
You know,
style wise, the
nothing to
Roosters might
lose,
be able to kind of shake it up.
and they're on a run.
Just
So,
some Sam Walker brilliance,
but that's a
possibly.
long reach. Like for
Yeah,
me, Panthers number one still for me ranked team, especially after their performance on the weekend. So it's possible these two teams have to go another few levels to get to where the Panthers are at. So, and that's the damn truth, man. So, Panthers won't be too fussed looking at these two teams, mate. They'll be like fucking Jim Kelly, and Into the Dragon. You know who Jim Kelly is, eh?
you're
Mr.
Jim
Williams.
Carrey.
For me,
All right, going to the second game, the game that you're probably most interested in, the Warriors and the Knights at home. So Warriors decided to go with GIO Stadium. Awesome call. I don't think many of the Wires fans truly wanted to go to Eden Park. I think coverage wise and probably more people that are interested in the Warriors at the moment
bro.
probably
Sorry,
wanting to
what's that? That's that Mount Smart or what?
Mount Smart, yeah, GIO. So that's Mount Smart Stadium. So tickets went
Sorry,
on sale, and
GIA.
we're
What are? Oh, Go Stadium. What are they? Go Media.
Go Media. Oh, Go Media. I think that's the new name for Kailo. I don't know.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
back at
yeah.
Mount Smart, how much do you, what does it sell out there? I don't know, 30?
So Mount Smart originally, I think it's you get 24
Oh,
for
yeah.
25 most. Then they can put up those chairs. So I don't know if they're going to open up some more sales because the tickets went on
Awesome.
sale and they were gone in 3 minutes. So yeah,
Totally.
ain't no one getting a
That's
chance to get
awesome.
in
On
on
the
those.
Saturday, 4 o'clock.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
So
Big
prime
game.
time. So this is an
Huge
awesome
game.
game for the Warriors. 6 o'clock game New Zealand time. Um, Playing here, huge one. I guess we've already talked it up. Both teams, what they're bringing. Both teams looking like they're playing. Yeah, other than the changes to the halves, is pretty much man for man what they played last week. Going with no Bunty again. So I wasn't really happy with that kind of rotation, what they trying to change to, like you're saying, just a more mobile kind of forward pack. So I don't know if Bunty's carrying an injury. Just an interesting change. Like I think size wise they kind of missed it out there, but then you look at the Knights forwards, probably other than Saifidi, in Hetherington, they're a bit more mobile in their forwards as well. So maybe that's probably why, just the longevity to try and play a bit more fitter. Um, but yeah, I guess in terms of the seasons, the and kind of the lead up. So I guess there's two ways to look at this game. I'm looking at it. Um, the Knights have had an awesome run. Um, but then again, we've kind of one for one throughout this year, and form plays a big part of it. Um, so yeah, I think Johnson. It's real hard to tell, being out for the amount of time he's been out. So that's 3 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks he's been out now. So that's a long break from footy. Can do a bit to your form. First time coming back to his combination with Tamaire Martin. But I think Canberra gave us a really good template and kind of the game that we like to play in the forwards. So I think if we model it off that, I think we've got the attack to kind of finish it off and actually get some more points in there.
Yeah, bro. Well, so do Newcastle, man. And this is
Mm.
going to be such an awesome game, bro. Attack wise, my will most come down to who's got the tougher, what team's willing to do the dirtier
Yeah,
work
who's
and
wanting to go there? Yeah, who's
defend.
wanting to?
Yeah. and defend their asses off because plenty of points in this game. Um, Biggest difference for the Warriors is having Sean Johnson um, and so now it allows them to
Tamale.
have to almost add in like two or three more ways where they can score off his boot, um, score off those block plays where he can really get the ball out to his edges,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
and then in having a go on his own. You see him come to the end of the games where he's just coming off that right foot and testing the markers, testing guys on the inside. So
Mm.
he brings that element of when you're defending a mate, you just like sit back, it's like what he's going to do, what he's going to do.
Yeah, yeah.
And like all the great players, makes Warriors were guilty of some unforced errors.
Mm.
He'll bring a calm to the team. I almost compared to what Reynolds does for Broncos. What a good half
Mm.
can bring
Yeah.
is that calmness. The general. When I
Yeah.
say this word general, like
Yeah,
doesn't matter if
yeah.
you're half or whatever position, was players in a team that can bring confidence or almost relax players. So they don't lose anything with Martin as well. I don't know if I think maybe they'll just keep to their sides of the field. I think Johnson's still got still got to have a go on both sides of
Both
the
sides of the
pitch
rock.
here.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, Harris and Johnson. I think maybe they outdo Newcastle Knights in that middle part of the field, so they can get some points in there. It's whether these Warriors outsides. I think it'll come down to these edges, bro. These edge defenders. You look at Berry, you look at Pompey, guys like Jackson Ford and Neil Corey. They're gonna have Ponga coming at them at speed, bro. And uh, like I said, it will come down to the fuck, man. It's and I think Warriors for me have probably shown a bit more stiffness in the defense. As I'm saying that the Knights have impressed, but they've also been involved in a lot of high scoring free throwing going games. So if the Warriors can nullify that and make it a dogfight, um, will go a long way to slowing down Ponga. But Ponga's
Mm.
just showing how dangerous he can make something out of nothing.
Yeah.
So I don't know about you,
I think that's the
Warriors won't
biggest
be
threat.
easy,
Like,
man. It won't be easy.
nah. I definitely won't. Like, I don't see these do or die games blowing up. I think it's going to be real close. And I think that's the threat for me too. Is our Kiwi, any of our Kiwi boys that get to play back here, as much as it's a bit of a mission, like we were talking before, for these Australian teams to make the trek here, kind of get used to being in Auckland in our environment and stuff. But the New Zealanders seem to get up. You look at the way Hargraves plays whenever he comes here. You look at any Kiwi when they get to play against the Warriors. It's almost I don't know. It's almost like an up yours to Auckland Rugby or
Yeah,
just
so you're talking about
the
Ponga.
Warriors.
You're talking
Yeah,
about
Ponga and
Ponga
even
coming home.
Crossland. I think even Crossland might kind of put in a little dig, like, "Hey, you remember I'm a Kiwi man, like I'm here." Because yeah,
Is
I
he?
guess they're gonna
Who?
see this Phoenix Crossland.
Phoenix Crossland from
Yeah,
the
Phoenix
Knights.
Crossland. He's
Is
Wellington
Kiwi.
born. Yeah, yeah, he's a Kiwi born.
For reals.
Yeah, so he could be a late runner for that Kiwis team. Back up Brandon
Wow,
Smith.
bro. If you ask me, he's had a better season than Smith. Fuck, he'd be
Hmm.
my starting line. You're
Yeah,
right too,
so
eh?
those boys could threaten. If anything, I think hopefully the Warriors have been practicing that field goal.
Mm.
Um, there's that vision of Jermaine Sacco. Those guys. There was one game the Dolphins earlier in the season. I don't know if it was against the Titans, and they took a drop goal and they did a two pass. So they're real close to the line, and so usually it happened to Canberra. They were like within the 10, and they're like, oh, they're too close now unless you do a real deep pass.
Oh
But they
yeah.
went two passes deep, so they had a fake. I think it was Nicarima took the first catch and then passed it back double to Jermaine. So Jermaine's on the 30 and takes an easy drop goal. So yeah, that vision of just setting up and making sure you're giving, because then it's just so much further for teams to chase. Like I'm surprised not many teams have kind of. That was earlier in the season too, and no one's kind of caught on to that or used the same tactics. So
It might possibly come down to the similar fucking situation, man. This is gonna go down to the wire, bro. And
Yeah, it will.
Knights have got the form of winning these kind of games. It was such a mean game last week.
I think
Um,
that Warriors home crowd will bring them back though. Like the
yeah, the home
Warriors at
crowd.
home.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm going to limb and I'm going to say they probably deserve it. Knights have been an awesome run of games, but I'm going to say Warriors by two,
Yeah.
and a tight one. Purely because of the fact the home crowd's going to get them back. Sean Johnson, this is his time.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
yeah, and I guess that's the thing. Whether he's 100%, the reports are that he's gonna be okay to play. He trained by himself today. He'll train by himself tomorrow, just so he can focus on what he needs to. So real interesting. They're really trying to look after him. So it doesn't sound like he's 100%, but I guess this is the game. No point waiting for next week. You
but
play
plus,
this week.
I would
You play your final.
love a fucking Warriors
Oh,
Broncos
yes.
packed game to go
Real
to.
unfortunate. Like that was something I was hoping that there was a way for a Warriors Broncos final at Suncorp. So that would have been mean to be there with you. But yeah, the Warriors.
This
I
is
picked the Warriors to go ahead, but I think yeah, we're playing our final with you guys next week.
we'll see.
However
We'll
that
see.
runs out, that'll be the
Mm.
yeah that'll be the last time our two teams meet. So
But I love the
yeah,
story of the
unfortunate.
Knights also. I love the story of the
Yeah,
Knights. It's like
I
you
think one
just
thing
never know. It could be
again.
not
Yeah,
overalls. A young
again.
team.
So I think that's the thing for the Knights. It'll be a fairy tale because the Stacey brought it up earlier. The record for a team straight wins in a row to a final series is 11. So Panthers were kind of on that same kind of trajectory.
So they're coming up
But
to it. So if they win the
well, they,
grand final, they'll take that's the record.
well, yeah. So the Warriors is going to be their 11th game. They win the Warriors scalp.
Oh yeah.
They need to go for the
Wow.
final
That's
dance. If they win
history.
the final
That's
dance, they yeah. So
history.
they win. So there's a lot of history. There's a lot kind of things that distractions as well. But they can make. They've had a fairy tale run from where they started. So if they want to keep those fairy tales, um, again, yeah, it comes down to the team that wants it. What
How about
story
this
have the
for
Warriors guys been selling each other? What
how
what
about
have
this
they
for
been selling?
finishers, bro? Dylan Martinez Zelezniak versus Dominic Young. Oh fuck, these guys have been
Oh,
pulling out some mean finishing tries.
yeah, yeah. Oh
You
man,
got two of
yeah,
the best. These guys can
yeah.
propel their fucking gills, their bodies, out
Especially
and
Dom Young
around
for a big guy
the
to
fucking
be able
corner
to.
flag and
Yeah,
still place the ball down in the corner. There's been some awesome tries from these two, and I think I put my hand up and said these probably the two of the most athletic finishers, bro. Just look at this talent on board, bro. Ponga versus Sean Johnson. That's what we come down to, yours.
yeah, and no, Adam Clune. That I don't know if that'll be clunky getting used to, but again, he's no slouch. They won back to back when Clune was in for a couple of weeks against the
Nah, they
Roosters
won't lose something from Clinton. He'll
and then
probably
the
play a similar
Rabbits.
game to
Yeah,
what Hastings been doing.
to Hastings. So he's
Um,
got a good kicking game
like I
as well,
said, these
Adam
guys
Clune.
aren't strong halves. They do enough. Ponga
Yeah.
elevates their game, and his job is to get the kicking game down packed, and feed Ponga when he wants the ball, man, in space.
Yeah, so this is going to be a real interesting game. Dengagai, man. So they've got some real champs in there. You look at their centre. So I mentioned our centres were probably lacking a bit in Rocco Berry and Adam Pompey, and now they're facing Dane Gagai and Bradman Best, two.
What
Well,
a game
Bradman,
Gagai had.
a
Gagai had a
recent
mixed game,
Origin, yeah,
but he
a
ended up
recent
doing
Origin
some
centre,
good
and
stuff.
Dane Gagai,
Mm,
a legend in centre for Origin
yeah,
for Queensland. So and Gagai by his standards, he had a rubbish game last week. He had a few little mistakes. He got that try, but man, he gave Raiders every chance to win with some of his mistakes through that
yeah.
game.
I'd have to say the dangerous halves. You guys between Martin and Johnson, just what ball play these two can do over Gamble and Clune.
Mm,
But Knights definitely make it up out wide. I think they probably got the
yeah,
best of you in the three quarters between Gagai, Best, Maju, and Young, and definitely Ponga. That's no disrespect to the Warriors back four, but I just think Barry and Pompey, they're still newbies in this
yeah,
competition, still finding their feet, and they haven't played their first best football. But coming up against Bradman Best and Gagai's a legend. Bradman Best is on form, so Yeah, looking forward to it. Looking forward
Mm.
to it. Up the wires, eh?
Afterwards. All right. Also, yeah, man. After our wrap, like I said, I'd come back to you. You still confident on it? After everything we said, that it's gonna end with a Panthers Broncos final.
Yep, yep.
Mm.
I think these two teams have done well to cement, get that confidence in their game, and so cement their position in the first week of the finals. Um, and they've deserved it. They've probably played the most consistent footy, and have played enough football at the higher. I mean, this. I think out of all games on the weekend, we had two elimination finals, which were exciting. But
Mm.
in terms of quality, I think Panthers and Broncos, especially the Broncos, but the Panthers to keep them at the Kongaki, I think they just elevated their games to a grand final, prelim final vibe where
Mm.
they can perform it. And it's up to the winner of these next two games. They've got to play that level on this elimination finals coming up. Um, and then, you know what? It comes down to the prelim final. Four teams. Fuck, sort of 50-50, man.
Yeah, man. So yeah, it's gonna be exciting. I agree with you. Like we spoke with Stace earlier on one of the other episodes, just how long the our season is. But man, like to be consistent for that long, both these teams, you've gone through your whole season. I think there was a few drops in the table when the Rabbits got up to number one. Um, but yeah, I think yeah, what we saw last week is pretty much why these teams are positioned where they are. Just one and two sitting where one and two kind of deservedly, um, markedly ahead of the rest too. So.
And I think the rest, it gives them another edge as well, man.
Well, yeah,
You
and I
know, I
think
think
that's
he
the
took
thing.
some
It's to
players they
aim up.
prefer the rest.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it'll be
After a
real
long,
interesting.
arduous season, I think I get where they're coming from, bro. You know, they're already fit. They don't need the
Yeah,
extra training.
yeah,
And you just saw on the weekend what they gave their stars the rest for the last game of the year. You know, so that's another good thing from what the Broncos did. What Kiwi did was,
yeah. So that's the thing. When
gladly
you're
rest them
winning,
that last game of the
hmm
year, lose the minor premiership, but to have a performance like that,
focus
thank
on
you.
the
We're
big
in the
goal.
prelims
Yeah,
now. So, yeah, looking forward to it, Usman. Can't wait.
nice shuttles. Good rep, man. Yeah, go the Wires. Hopefully, we're there to meet you next time we talk, bro. But thanks for jumping on and giving us a rep, Pulse. Any
Seki,
last words,
Paso
man?
for everyone. Enjoy all the sports going around the world, man. Up the ABs. I ain't giving up. Up the ABs. Up the Manu. Go the Bronx.
Nice. Also, thanks, guys. Hey, thanks for tuning in. You can check out all our content on www.weswesnet.com. You'll be able to find all the other podcasts there. Go check out the Counter Ruck. The boys are breaking down the World Cup at the moment. You'll be able to get an update and their breakdown on all the pools, especially all the Pacifica teams. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you soon. All right. Bye.